Hi, I'm Brian. I'm the winemaker for 1850. Here today with our 1850 2021 Reserve Cabernet Sauvignon. We're really excited about this wine. We're really proud of this wine. It just won 91 points. It was given 91 points by Wine Enthusiast. Our goal with this wine was to make a wine that's very varietal, typical, but it's also very approachable, drink now type of wine, but also something you could lay down, something that's very versatile with different pairings. It's a drink alone, or you can pair it with more heavier fare. So we're very proud of this wine. So the 1850 style is what we call old world meets new world winemaking styles. So new world being a little bit more robust in its fruit character, a little bit bigger body wines, and a little bit more fruit driven. But it also is honoring the varietal and kind of more traditional winemaking styles that would be more on the new world, the old world style rather. A little bit more nuance with the oak that we use with this as well. So when we were selecting vineyards to pick fruit from for this cab, what we wanted is to find vineyards that were kind of typical of the 1850 style, vineyards that get fully ripe to develop really robust character, but also balance out acidity. So some of that acid character will drive some of the fruit characteristics that we really want with this cab, and that's kind of the 1850 style too. We brought in the fruit. There's a few different picks because we wanted to pick from a few different lots to make sure everything was the ripeness that we wanted. We bring in the fruit, we hand sort the fruit to remove any clusters that we don't want or any material that we don't want as well. And then we crush the fruit, we get full extraction. What we do is it's called a saunier, is we pull some free run juice off of what's called the must, which is the skins and juice right after you crush. And what we do is we pull that saunier, and what that does is it concentrates the skin to juice ratio while it's fermenting. So we get a little bit more robust character out of the finished product, a little bit more tannin and heft as well. So what we do is we ferment this cab in a few different batches. We're using a few different yeasts. Our goal with this wine all along is to drive complexity and nuance. And so when we use a few different yeast types, we're developing different flavors and different nuances in the final blend. So what we do once the ferments are complete with this, we're barreling down the finished wine. We actually use a pretty complex and diverse barrel program. We're actually putting this wine down into 5 different oak types, including American oak. That's actually what makes this cab a reserve cab, is our barrel selection. So we're going through all barrels, and we're trying different wine in those barrels, and only the ones that we like the most end up being a reserve cab. And so there's actually 5 different oak types, different toasts from different parts of the world that go into this final blend. Baking spices, chocolatey notes. You get a lot of like molasses type flavors on there. The oak comes through very nicely. There's a lot of nuance. As I mentioned, there's several different oak types on this wine, but it all plays together very nicely on the nose. You get notes of cedar. Up front on the palate, you get a lot of lively acidity. As I mentioned, we try to pick when there's still a good amount of acidity to really drive the fruit flavors. And so on the palate initially, it's very refreshing and juicy and inviting. But then on the back end, you get a lot of that tannin structure. It's a very big wine, but very approachable. So the tannins have a lot of heft to them, but it's also very well balanced, and you get a lot of kind of fine-grained tannins that stick with you throughout the finish. Classic cab flavors of cassis and dark cherry as well. It's a really well balanced wine, very versatile, drink alone or pair with heavier fare. It does really well with rich and creamy sauces. You can have it with maybe charcuterie board. It'll actually pair very well with maybe very rich and decadent chocolatey desserts as well. I made a chocolate mousse pie the other night and paired this with it, and it was very nice. The very rich flavors pair well with the fine-grained tannins on this wine. Very drinkable.